let's just sit here and say nothing. Ooh, didn't even start it.
There's a lot of tapioca in this.
It's Alzheimer's, what they forget to tell you. Episode
53.
I can't believe it. Honestly, as much as we said it out loud, I really can't believe it.
That means that if you did this every week, if you actually did, it'd be like exactly a year and 1 week. Just saying.
Thank you, mathematician.
Because there's 52 weeks.
Thank you, statistician. Hi, Karen.
In 1 year. Hi.
Spelling your name wrong. Karen with a K. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Dan. Hi, Marina.
Okay. So,
I feel like an oxymoron because I'm wearing a beanie in the house, if you haven't noticed. And yet, I'm wearing shorts.
Oh, I can do that too.
What?
I'm wearing a beanie and drinking a frozen smoothie, and it's minus 14 degrees outside.
And she's wrapped in a blanket.
Mm-hmm. Just in case it gets too cold. I'm going to need my bubble tea.
I won't hold that against you.
Whatever.
It's not bubbles, it's tapioca. Why don't they call it what it is?
Because it's a lot of...
Bubble tea. Like, there's no bubbles in there. And it's not even tea. Is it tea?
No. You know what? If you look...
That's false advertising.
It looks like bubbles, and I get the fun big straw.
Okay, so Marina, you missed... But I know you caught it after about the public guardianship and the power of attorney. And what happens when you don't have a will. Hey, Wen. Oh, so Wendy, my cousin. You remember Wendy?
Of course.
Well, I'm not talking to you. Oh. She is in baby zone, like 100% baby zone now. So she's going to be intermittently coming on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, Wen? She'll poke herself in and out when she can, in terms.
Hey.
And when she can. So we look forward to that. And when the baby's older, she'll resume her regular position. But I'm pretty sure you're entertained with the bubble-less tea. They should call it bubble-less tea. I'm onto something.
Well, then you should call it something else because it's not tea.
What? Yeah, like what's... Okay. How... Explain the concept of bubble tea when there's no bubbles or no tea. So you can just call it anything. Asking for a friend.
I'm feeling judged.
Well, you should be.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wen.
Although she's being really rude about my bubble tea.
You know I would be saying the same thing to you if you were slurping down bubble tea right next to me when it doesn't have any relation to bubbles or tea.
If you look at it, it looks like there's bubbles. Okay, let's continue.
Anyways, really what we want to do this week... Be right back.
Okay.
We wanted to talk about the beanies and what they signify because and thanks to everybody, I want to call out the people that I just know, and if I miss, see, that's why we're related. She hates bubble tea.
More bubble tea.
Me too. I'm not eating the tapioca nonsense. Anyways,
bubble tea for me.
We're digressing.
Well, I'm just...
So, the beanies, I'm going to give you people a shout out. The people I can remember at the top of my head. Jason Delbell, thank you. Karen says tomorrow. Okay, Karen, I'm holding you to that. Erica sold, 20.
Yay. I believe I sold, 7? 6 or 7? I don't know. Something like that. I sent them the information.
Sent who?
The people that wanted to buy the beanies on my IG account.
Okay. So, John, thank you. He bought 2. Okay, Marina, we'll put the link in after. But as we said, it's for a good cause. Right? what are we doing this for? Why are we selling these beanies?
You have started the Reinvent and Restore Foundation, which is going to be everywhere, but physically in Halton.
Yeah, you're not going to have to be demographic. When Cindy says everywhere, she means, okay, we'll just put snippets. So the Alzheimer's societies, they're everywhere, technically, in every municipality, right, across Canada. And however, they don't operate universally. So they operate kind of like in silos. So you're not going to get the same services that you're going to get. If I go into Toronto, I'm not going to get the same services as Toronto as I would in Peel. They're all different. I guess depending on funding. So I always say the Alzheimer's Society of Toronto, it's like top notch. But I'm assuming because they get a lot of funding and demographically they have a larger population to help. But the Alzheimer's Society of Peel, not so much. And so this foundation is strictly for, it's not strictly, but it is, it's for caregivers.
Like Karen and her dad, it says, right?
To help caregivers like my dad and me. Correct.
Right.
Correct.
And these services were not available for us.
No, well, yeah, I'm not going to benefit from, it's a pay it forward for me because I'm definitely not going to benefit from this foundation. But I know what is needed. I know what I needed. When my mom was diagnosed, I was 30 years old and I had a newborn. And that was extremely challenging and there was nothing for me. Like, there was actually nothing for caregivers. Mm-hmm. Even at that time, they didn't have even caregiver support groups. Mm-hmm. That was like, it was 2000. There was nothing there. Nobody helped me live with the disease. And if I wouldn't wish this on anybody, but if you have ever been around somebody with dementia, it's extremely challenging. It takes a lot out of you emotionally. Emotionally, I was just talking about that the other day. I was asked, how is it for you? I live tentatively. I live every day thinking, is today the day? So it's like impending doom that I'm prepared for, but it doesn't make it easier.
And you're still not prepared.
No, I'm still not going to be prepared. So my mom, again, is in the palliative journey. She's at the end of life. That means end of life. A lot of people... So I get questions today, well, what does that mean? Can she recognize you? No. My mom is basically in a vegetative state. So we're literally just waiting for her to transition. But she's not hooked up to machines or anything. So technically, she has zero quality of life and has had that for the last 3 years. So that's how I live. And I don't even know how to explain it. I can't articulate it into words on how I'm feeling or how it makes me feel. But it's gut-wrenching. And this is why I guess it would have been great if I had somewhere to go and talk to someone else that knew that journey. I didn't, you don't really have to explain too much.
Right. Well, actually, Karen says it is isolating.
And, it is isolating. Because nobody understands. And you don't want to be a sympathy, no. I'll be honest. So last week, I was invited to a 50th birthday party.
Hello.
And I didn't go. And these are people from high school. It's just, and it's hard. I don't want people feeling sorry for me, but it's a natural, people are going to say, so how's your mom? And and I don't mean to be facetious, but I'm almost she's, in Milan, skiing, French.
Aspen?
She's in Aspen, Colorado. She's actively dying. And I don't want to keep, I'm not it's not, I don't want charity or sympathy. I just don't want to, I kind of don't want to talk about it.
And I think it's isolating too because I think people think they understand it when they don't. It's very stereotypical.
I don't want to talk about it, so I'll do a podcast and tell the world about it.
Right. That's true.
It's kind of really?
Sean sends his love. I don't know who Sean is. so I think that's for you.
Oh, Sean. Oh, yes. Tell him I said hi. Hi, Auntie Anna.
But yeah, I think it's isolating because I think people think they understand. I think one of the things that I remember I was asked a lot, and it was because it's the most typical symptom, right? It would be, first, how's your dad? And second of all, does he know who you are?
I know, like...
And it's like, he hasn't known who I was for a long time. But when I was thinking about it on the way here, that was not even the painful part. When my dad stopped recognizing who I was, so nice.
Okay, all week, people have been trying to make me cry.
She's not trying. She's just sharing.
Stop it, Karen. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
Stop
Karen.
it.
But
don't do it.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's their only go-to is, do they still know who you are? Or, you know, do they, and it's like, well, that was not the hardest part. That's what I was saying. Like, that wasn't the hardest part for me. The hardest part for me in understanding my dad, and getting used to my dad's dementia was I lost out on a lot of other opportunities. I know nothing about it. When my son came home the other day with an immigration story assignment, I had nothing. I didn't know their immigration story because by the time, you know, I got interested in his life, it was already gone, right? And so like those memories, and so that was, I don't really care if he knew who I was. But that's always the first question. So I do know how it's isolating because that's their way. I know there are people say that out of like the goodness of their heart. Their intentions are good. But it's that lack of understanding and knowing what that experience is.
Well, there's two things going on. Like for me, it was isolating because you get that automatic, right? And then it's like,
head tilt.
That must be so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and yeah, it is. Yeah, and then it's I don't know. Then you isolate yourself because you don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it, even though it's right there. I don't want to go out and talk about it.
And also, when you get to that point where they physically don't look,
my mom
the same. You don't want to invite people over. You don't want people to come and see. You don't want...
Well, that Jalen said that on one of the episodes. He said, I didn't even know that until I watched, like, when we were doing it. But he said he doesn't tell people about. Mm-hmm. And I was like that at work when I worked at the region. For years, people didn't even know my mom was sick. Because you don't want to make it about that.
Hi, everyone. But yeah, it's definitely isolating. Anyways, so the foundation, to kind of go back to that, is really to...
What is it?
It's to combat the isolation.
Oh,
it's
really?
To be like, yes.
Tell me more. I'm so intrigued.
I don't know. Let's see.
I'm intrigued
Let's
about
make
this
it up.
foundation.
I'm going to make it up as we go along.
Yeah, okay.
So we need a foundation.
We do?
Yeah. For caregivers.
That's a novel idea. Mm-hmm. Glad you thought of it.
I know.
Wow. Okay.
I think...
Say more. Say more.
Not just a pretty face.
Obviously. That's an excellent idea.
But just to provide...
Wish I thought of it.
Yes. To provide support for the caregivers, because it is a difficult journey to take. And so there'll be different services that the foundation is going to help provide. I know you approached me for more of the counseling piece, right? Mm-hmm. So to be able to provide, is this a wardrobe change?
Would you stop it?
Are we
You're
on the Emmys?
Spoiling the surprise.
We're on the Emmys. I need one now too. It's like,
you're spoiling the surprise. I was just gonna play it off.
It's bright green.
I was gonna play it off though. I would have done it.
Okay. Anyways, so
you're my mirror. Okay.
So yeah, so you approached me to kind of do the whole counseling piece, right? To be able to kind of provide counseling. That's right. I need to do one too for caregivers, because even though I'm trained to do counseling, I also have a personal background in...
No, you don't.
A personal experience. I don't?
No, you don't. Okay. You're faking it.
I am. I'm out.
But it's not just for counseling. Mm-mm. Say more. What else is it? What else is going to be there?
We're providing resources. We're going to be providing You asked me to provide information, and like,
all right. So
why don't you start
in a different time, which was like 5 years ago.
Back in the day.
I had a cafe and a day spa, and I'm going to use that knowledge and open up all like a multifaceted space.
Big word. It's the bubbles.
It's those nasty tapioca.
Tapioca is a multi-syllabic word.
Okay, can you explain? Quickly, what's in tapioca?
I have no idea.
So you're eating
it's
something
like a gelatinous, like...
You lost me at gelatinous.
It's chewy and like bouncy at the same time. It's like plastic.
Yeah, you don't even know really what you're eating. Could be manufactured.
It probably is, but it's delicious. Anyways, talk about the spa part.
Yeah, wellness, but it's plastic. She eats plastic.
The texture, okay? Texture.
Okay, so it's going to be a multifaceted space. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Sounds like an excellent idea. Comfortable, caring space for caregivers to communicate with others and refill their mind, body, and...
That's our tagline. Right there.
There's our mandate.
Can you get a tissue? You can cry. I'm just saying. Tissue. It's okay to own our feelings, you know.
I know what she's talking about.
For sure. I love it.
Bubble tea is a Taiwanese tea-based drink invented in... Come on, Marina. What word is this? In the 1980s. Recipes... I gotta know. Recipes
this is awesome, by the way. Thank you.
Tea of some... You should know this.
Chewy tapioca. Well, that's exactly what it is.
Recipes contain tea of some kind, flavors of milk, as well as sugar. Toppings such as chewy tapioca...
Good.
Balls, popping boba, fruit jelly, grass jelly, agar jelly, and puddings are often added. That is disgusting.
Yeah, you know what's really good is the lychee jelly.
Yep.
Our stuff's good too. But there's none in here today. Just the tapioca.
St. Lucia.
Hi, St. Lucia.
I wish I was in St. Lucia.
It's too cold.
Like minus 100.
I wouldn't be wearing the beanie if I was in St. Lucia.
I still rock the beanie in St. Lucia.
Like all sweating and stuff?
I don't care. That's style. I'll do it.
Can we like create something
Suffer
else?
For fashion. Suffer for fashion. Okay. Well, there's baseball hats.
I took this tapioca whole shot.
That's karma, I think.
Okay. So, the beanies is just one way that we are fundraising for your foundation. I keep segueing back because you want me to talk about it.
Are you busy eating? Like, do you want us to wait?
I
don't want to interrupt your eating.
It might take a while. They're really chewy. You're right, Maria.
Anyhow, so we have a page. Like it's a GoFundMe platform. However, it's not GoFundMe. Okay, it's called chuff.org. And so you can contribute that way. Or you can contribute this way.
And what is the difference between Chuffed and GoFundMe?
Well, GoFundMe takes out a lot of processing fees. Mm-hmm. So let's just say, I don't know what the percentages are, but let's say GoFundMe, say you donate $20. I think like we would get maybe 15.
Right. Yep. Don't even continue. Just ignore.
And then Chuff doesn't do that. So if you donate $20, I think they charge you like $2 up front. So we get the complete $20.
And is Chuff for mainly nonprofit or charitable organizations?
Social organization, yeah.
Okay. So that's good. So, foundation is launched, and we're selling some beanies, and
go on, keep talking. Nothing's happening.
So we are slowly moving towards opening up a wellness center in Halton region. So obviously in St. Lucia, you might not be able to access Halton region, but we do online counseling.
Yep. And that's just for now. That's just we're just starting there. It doesn't mean,
Mm-hmm. So That's very exciting.
It is.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. So.
Do you want to do another change?
No, it's okay, because then I'd have to take my hat off.
You can do.
Oh, I want that one. Okay, hold on. Okay.
This is for hotter climates.
Well, I don't know if it's going to fit me.
You can. That's why it's adjustable.
I know, but I don't want to adjust it. Do I?
You look like a trucker.
Love it!
But it is a trucker hat.
That's staying on today.
Isn't it called a snapback?
I don't know, but it's staying on. It's staying on today. Okay. That one's nice too. So
you can get your custom beanie. You design whatever color logo you want, any color, and then whatever hat, you pick whatever hat and whatever combo. So today, my good friend Anne-Marie, she bought one just now for her son, and it's black on black.
Oh,
that was good. That was
cool.
good. I have gray on gray, so whatever works for you.
Oh, I love that. Just saw it.
See, that's custom.
That's
custom.
It's fancy. It's fancy.
So
now I feel like just staying right here.
Okay. Between you and the bubble tea. Okay, so let's recap.
Yes.
What is it?
The foundation. The beanies. The helping of caregivers. I want to bring up that whole thing again. That was awesome. A good use of alliteration. The compassionate.
Karen's just not just a pretty face either.
That was awesome. We're gonna keep
very
that.
High
that is
intellect.
great. That's going on the brochures. We need to go on the. That needs to go on the brochures. We got to remember that because that was awesome. I don't remember it now, but we have to remember
space
it.
For your.
No, there was a lot of C's. It was
a
great.
Caring, compassionate.
Anyways, we're gonna go back and we're gonna read it because it was awesome. By the way,
space.
Thank you.
To rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul.
For caregivers. You forgot the caregivers piece. That was another C.
I said caregivers.
It's okay, Coco.
Coco, you're really getting on my last nerve. You do this every time for attention.
We're live.
Every time for attention. And she's looking at you because she knows.
It's okay, Coco. So, anything else? Any exciting anecdote? I did tell you that, before I forget, my son's in grade 6 and he had a speaker this week that talked about Alzheimer's.
And he said he knew nothing about
it. He knew nothing. Parent and caregiver of the year.
The award
of the year. Then he said,
maybe he forgot. You see what I did there? You see what I did there?
That's good.
See what I did there?
No pun intended or pun intended?
Pun intended.
So this apparently a woman, and I think it's great because it did educate. He did have lots of questions about Alzheimer's, and when I said to him that he's okay, that his
it's
Lolo, I'm talking about. I got all confused. But no, so he was talking. So it was a mother or a parent whose father recently passed away.
Games. That's all we do. Games. Go out there, turn around.
She wants a treat.
Go out there, turn around, get a treat.
What was I saying?
Why can't I do that?
Oh my God.
That work for me.
Coco, I know. She won't let me hug Coco. She thinks I'm enabling Coco.
She literally did a 360 and came around.
Listen.
She wants a treat.
She needs her emotional needs met. Okay?
She's playing with my emotions.
Everybody needs affection, including Coco. What was I saying? Okay, so he didn't know what Alzheimer's was, but then when I explained to him that Lolo, his grandfather, had it.
Don't start, Wendy.
No, I agreed.
Coco needs a hug.
I totally agreed. Then it all started to make sense to him, and then my youngest one, who's a little bit more astute sometimes, was like, "Is that why he forgot to eat?" Which was completely true. But I thought it was great because they're starting to talk about it quite young. I know when I was in grade 6, I knew nothing about dementia or Alzheimer's. And then my dad got sick in grade 7. So I would have loved to be able to kind of get that information. So I thought it was great. I actually don't know who it was, so I got to find out who the speaker was. But I thought it was great that they're starting to educate people. Because I think it's important because as a caregiver, I guess I just focused more on taking care of every aspect of my life instead of meshing them together, because they were so young at the time that I do regret not having that conversation with them, because they were scared of him. Like, my boys were scared of my dad because he didn't talk, he spit all the time, you know, he just looked.
I just remember when my mom at the beginning, it was, I never knew what could come out of her mouth. And I was always afraid of that. Like, I hope she doesn't say anything inappropriate.
Right.
But, anyways.
But I do think that it's good to teach them young, because they would, I'm hoping the idea of it is that they will build more empathy towards people and not be like, well, because they would always say to about my dad, like, why is he so,
hi Larry,
like, why doesn't he talk, or why is he spit, and or they wouldn't go near him, so they wouldn't go near him. So I'd have to, like, kind of like nudge them or trick them into why don't you go push Lolo in his wheelchair, and then they would kind of do that, but they didn't really have an understanding of what my dad was kind of going through.
So this is why it's hard to explain. Like, you can't, like, even these segments, even though I wrote a book about it, like, that's just the tip of the iceberg of trying to explain the day-to-day of what you really do go through with somebody with a challenging disease. Dementia and everyone's different. Everyone goes, they try to stage it. They say it goes through stages, but you could potentially be in, like, 3 stages in one day. Mm-hmm. And it's very, very, very challenging. And these are for informal caregivers or formal caregivers. And again, we'll go through, and informal is like myself. I don't have hands-on, like, I'm not a personal support worker, but I'm an informal because I have to manage all the care. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's still my mom at the end of the day. So it's watching her go through this and being helpless. I can't do anything. Can't do anything to help her. I just have to wait. So, in other words, this is why the foundation is extremely important, and I appreciate everybody who's already contributed. Susie, thank you. She's contributed. Erica, like, her family, it's been more than generous. And these beanies, besides helping the foundation, it's building awareness around this horrible disease. Mm-hmm. And it's time for me to pay back. So this is I feel like I need to do this for others.
Right. It would have been such a different experience, do you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Where I can walk in a space where I didn't have to explain.
Right.
That would have made a huge difference. And how to balance. And, like, we were trying to say, like, we didn't say exactly, like, caregivers get displaced. So even after, like, Kalina, and Bill, when you've caregived even for 3 years, 1 year, and that person, your loved one, passes on, you become displaced, because for that year or 2 years or 5 years or 6 or 10 or whatever, 18, this has been your world. And then, you know, now you have to go back into the real world. But how do you do that? You might have given up a career, because financially it takes a toll, mentally it takes a toll, emotionally it takes a toll. So this is for people, no matter where you are in that journey. If you are at the end of the journey and now you want to, like, we're going to have career counseling. My good friend Peter is a career counselor, so he'll be involved, like, to help you get back into the workforce, or even maybe negotiate a modified work schedule. Like, whatever you need, we'll just try to figure it out.
Lots of stuff.
Lots of exciting things.
Mm-hmm. And if you guys have any other ideas of other things that maybe we can provide, or any other services that you think would have been helpful or would be helpful in your journey, we would love to hear those things, because we might have missed something from, you know.
Yeah, Catherine's going to come on next week. She's the co-founder of the Memory Ball, and she's a young caregiver herself. Her mom has Alzheimer's, and she's going to talk a little about that. Same type of things, though. We have caregivers seems like we have very similar journeys. And not to negate from other caregivers, because that's the other thing. We're not going to be just focused on, caregivers for dementia. It's just what we know. But like my friend Monique came on, and she's a caregiver to her daughter, and we all kind of have that universal, there's some universal concerns and challenges that we all go through, and that we can all use this type of space.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep. That's it.
We good?
We good.
I really like this hat. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I might have to stay on my head.
No, that's not happening. That's custom.
I might spill some bubble tea on it, and then all of a sudden...
Then you just have to buy another hat. it's all good. Okay, bye.
Bye, everyone.